Chapter 7. In the past, Ning Xinyan wouldn't go home until midnight. Now he packed his briefcase on time at 5:30. Looking at the approaching time, Xing Yi also quickly called the two children back. While walking back, Zhou Yunsheng discovered that Zhao Yun had installed many cameras in the lakeside trees and had no choice but to lament the other man's forced lackey status. "How was your day?" Ning Xinyan saw Qin Li off. When he came back into the house, he kissed his son's forehead. Then, extremely naturally, he also cupped the youth's cheeks and kissed, as if they would be so intimate from birth. Zhou Yunsheng was initially very surprised, but as the days passed, he also got used to it. He just pursed his lips and nodded slightly, but didn't reply. "How was our day? Don't you already know? Damn pervert." Zhou Yunsheng heard the sounds and came downstairs. She attentively took Ning Xinyan's jacket and briefcase, and the two hugged each other with light smiles and whispers, as if they were a pair of sincere loving husband and wife. In this family, except for Ning Wangshu, everyone was an Oscar-level actor. After eating dinner and coaxing his son to sleep, Ning Xinyan wanted to find Wei Xian to chat for a while, in order to cultivate their feelings, but found that the other side had already slipped away. He also locked the bedroom door. If it wasn't for his previous misguided and vile attitude, Xian wouldn't be so afraid of him. Ning Xinyan agilely smoothed his hair. His heart was extremely regretful, and he also couldn't wait to swallow Xiao Xingfang whole. But Xian Yu still had exploitation value, so he had no choice but to pull the bow without shooting. The teenager took a picture album out of the bookcase and spread it on top of the bed. Sitting cross-legged, he browsed the book while taking notes. Ning Xinyan smiled, watching attentively for a while. Then he saw that the time was still early, so he also turned on the computer to deal with official business. Unknowingly, 10:30 arrived. The cell phone issued a slight beep to remind the busy Ning Xinyan. Ning Xinyan turned off the alarm and quickly glanced at the screen. Sure enough, the youth who always kept to schedule was stripping, preparing to take a hot bath and go to bed. His white shirt slid down his shoulders. He turned, revealing a graceful butterfly bone, flexible waist, and very perky buttocks. Ning Xinyan only glanced for a moment before looking away, suddenly feeling somewhat restless. He stood up, poured a cup of coffee, and walked 2 laps around the study room, listening to the sound of trickling water as the youth took a bath. He felt more and more edgy, tearing open the top 2 buttons of his shirt, and finally carrying the coffee cup slowly back to the desk. His eyes stuck to the screen. He had no choice but to admit that he was looking forward to this time almost every day. What was the difference between his practice and being a pervert? He denounced himself in his heart, but also couldn't control himself. He put down the coffee cup, then pulled out a cigarette and lit it, trying to make the smoke blur his line of sight. But his move was obviously superfluous. The steam from the hot water in the bathroom had long ago misted the camera, leaving only a jade-like silhouette. Ning Xinyan started feeling unsatisfied again, inwardly cursing. When the sound of running water finally stopped, his cigarette was also finished. Due to being too focused on the screen, his finished cigarette butt almost burned his fingertips. He uttered several curses and ruthlessly poked the butt into the ashtray. The bathroom door opened. The youth walked out with wet hair, wearing only a loose white shirt that barely slipped over his hips, covering his most secret places, but revealing his slender, straight legs. His feet were delicate, perfectly shaped, as he stepped on the wool carpet. He slightly hooked his toes. His action was extremely cute. Because he stayed in the studio all year round, his skin was very white. The light blue blood vessels could almost be seen through his thin skin. Because of this, he appeared even more soft and fragile. The last time this was This was the last time. Tomorrow he'll remove all the cameras. Holding the coffee cup, Ning Xinyan customarily placated himself. Then he completely abandoned the struggle, gazing greedily. Suddenly, a sharp knock sounded on the door. It was Xiao Yun. Ning Xinyan's hand shook, half the cup of coffee falling on his shirt and pants. Shit, he immediately stood up, wiping with a paper towel, but found a very hard place at his groin. Shit. He stared blankly, then fiercely cursed himself, forcefully shoving back his hair. He knew it. If he continued like this, he would sooner or later go astray. But he was powerless against his perverted self. Come in. He sat down, his expression decrepit, his voice depressed. In his moment of panic, the young man on the screen quickly hooked the corners of his mouth and silently murmured, "Good night, damn pervert." 2 months of summer vacation soon ended. Ning Xinyan lived in struggle every day, feeling both physically and mentally exhausted. Maybe I should think of a way to stay away from Wei Xian, he told himself. It didn't take long for his thought to smack him in the face. "Why are you packed?" When he saw the boy carrying a trolley bag downstairs with a preparing to go on a long journey look, his complexion instantly changed. "Live in the dormitory." Zhou Yunsheng hid the luggage behind his back, his demeanor somewhat uncomfortable. Ning Qinyan coughed, then immediately using a softer tone, How long till you come back?" "I'll come back for winter vacation." Winter vacation. In other words, at least 3 or 4 months until he came back. Ning Xinyan's mind buzzed. He refuted in a firm voice. No, living in a dormitory is not allowed. He had long forgotten his determination to alienate Wei Xian. "You're addicted, aren't you, damn pervert?" Zhou Yunsheng inwardly sneered at him, but he showed a frightened but wronged expression on the surface, his pair of watery peach blossom eyes staring at Ning Xinyan. Under the light of the young man's gaze, half of Ning Xinyan's body had completely numbed. His ears involuntarily flowed red, but Ning Xinyan's expression became even more solemn, finally saying, "No, your self-care ability is too poor. Once you start painting, you never stop. You even forget to eat 3 meals a day. It's better if you live at home. I'll be responsible for dropping you off and picking you up at school every day. Otherwise, I can't be at ease." Zhou Yunsheng was sitting in the farthest corner from him, staring at his breakfast silently. His temperament was really stubborn. Ning Xinyan had no other means to persuade him. He had no choice but to look at his son. "Baby, your Xiaoshu has to go to school. He won't come back to see you for 3 or 4 months. Will you miss him?" Ning Wangshu finally realized the seriousness of the problem. He immediately jumped off his chair and thump, 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 ran to Zhou Yunsheng's side. His two small hands firmly gripped his pants legs, wearing a sad, about to cry expression. "That pervert, even using your own son." Zhou Yunsheng almost wanted to facepalm, but he endured. "If I won't live in school, I need to handle the procedure to become a day student," he spoke slowly. "Good, I'll bring you to fill out the forms in a moment." Ning Xinyan was finally satisfied. Seizing the opportunity, he walked over to sit beside the young man, picking up his son and happily kissing him. "Good son, you really helped your father out." Wearing an apron, Zhao Xingfang was in the kitchen, putting on an act of preparing cognac. Hearing these movements, her face darkened. And these past 2 months, not only had Ning Wangshu started returning to normal, even Ning Xinyan's attitude towards Wei Xian had undergone monumental changes. When Wei Xian first arrived, Ning Xinyan regarded him as an invisible person, but now he was pampering him like a precious child. What the hell was going on? Now, no way did he forget how Wei Xian treated Ning Wangshu, right? Or maybe he found out the truth? Impossible. If he knew the truth, how could he provide delicious food and drink for Wang Ma and take out time to visit the hospital every day to personally take care of her? Certainly, those old fools must be insisting on protecting Wei Xian, and he had no other choice. Now that their relationship was getting better and better, Wei Xian brought up the day at the hotel entrance during the next chat. What could she do? No, she must get rid of Wei Xian as quickly as possible. Xiao Xingfang's eyeballs turned. She thought of a wonderful idea. Wei Xian was a first-year student in the capital's Academy of Fine Arts. He hadn't participated in the college entrance examination. Ning father entrusted a famous oil painter in F country to write a letter of introduction for him, and he was especially recruited. Ning Xinyan let an assistant handle the day student procedures, while he personally went to the dormitory to help Wei Xian pack up. I'll do it, you sit. He took off his suit jacket, rolled up his sleeves, and stacked up a few huge picture albums, preparing to carry them out. As the male protagonist, Ning Xinyan's appearance was naturally very outstanding. Not impeccably handsome like Du Shulang, but full of heroic masculine atmosphere. He was almost 190 centimeters tall, his pair of big long legs shifting in front of Zhou Yunsheng, making him feel dizzy. His thin shirt was even vividly sketching out his explosive muscle lines. The man was mobile hormones. Zhou Yunsheng was distinctly aware of this fact, and had no choice but to look elsewhere. Is it hot? Look at your face, it's all red. Living at home really is more comfortable. Home has air conditioning. The youth's cheeks were flushed, eyes glittering. Seeing this appearance, Ning Xinyan's mouth dried out. Using this observation as an opportunity, he walked over to pinch the tip of the boy's nose. Zhou Yunsheng lowered his eyes and nodded. His shy appearance made Ning Xinyan's heart itch intolerably. He packed the albums and paint brushes into a cardboard box, one hand holding the box, the other hand dragging along the teenager. Ning Xinyan slowly walked back towards the parking lot. Xian, did you come to report in? When Ning Xinyan opened the trunk to pack the things, Zhou Yunsheng heard a shout. He looked towards the man walking up to him, and a malicious smile instantly seeped into his eyes. He knew this person. He was Wei Xian's senior, Fu Xuan. After Wei Xian left the Ning family house, he once got an opportunity to pull himself together, but he was destroyed by this person. He plagiarized Wei Xian's painting and participated in the International Oil Painting Awards ceremony. In the end, he received a grand prize and became famous in one go. This event was the last straw that crushed Wei Xian. Zhou Yunsheng squinted, then walked up to greet him, respectfully calling out, "Senior brother." When Fu Xuan learned that he was going to become a day student, he pulled him aside to tell him a few words. Of course, it was about whether he'd completed his work for the awards ceremony, and encouraging him to show it to him if he wasn't satisfied with anything, so he could give him some advice. Zhou Yunsheng nodded, but didn't converse. Fu Xuan saw a man parked by the roadside in the distance, staring at him while smoking, his eyes a little ruthless. Fu Xuan felt a little afraid and couldn't help but find an excuse to leave first. Who is he? Ning Xinyan sternly asked after they got into the car. Senior brother. Zhou Yunsheng blinked his watery peach blossom eyes over at him. Ning Xinyan's bitterness evaporated, but he still muttered, "He's really chatty." Zhou Yunsheng was choked by the smell of cigarette smoke in the car. Uncomfortably, he couldn't help but frown. Put out the smoke. Ning Xinyan immediately snuffed out the cigarette, then raised his hands in a surrendered gesture. This skillful and natural reaction shocked both people. Zhou Yunsheng stared at him for a long time, striving to find a trace of familiarity in his handsome face. It was fruitless. On the way back, the two fell into a strange silence.